Welcome to Discussing Dad Life, where we break down bullshit so you don't have to. I'm Void, this is No, and let's go. Welcome to Wellspring Wednesdays.
That was a good one. That was good. Okay.
Batter up.
Yeah, so go ahead and... What are we talking about today?
Well, we are going to talk about mansplaining versus womansplaining. Honestly, I think the titles are kind of ridiculous.
It is.
But it makes sense. So, definitions. We're going to read them to you.
Merriam-Webster actually has a definition.
Oh,
that's interesting.
Scheißenkopf. Guten Tag. You read for viewers? No? Yeah? You go. Come on.
Hold on one second. We're pulling it up. I should have had this done earlier.
Yeah. I'm interested to see, because I've heard of these names, like classifications before, but I've never actually like looked up the definition, so I'm kind of curious.
Okay, so
let's hear it.
Mansplaining. It's everywhere these days in various form. Mansplain, verb. Mansplaining. Mansplainery. We haven't seen, but we keep our eyes open for it, blah, blah, blah.
Is that its core?
A very specific thing. It occurs when a man talks condescendingly to someone, especially a woman, about something he has incomplete knowledge of, with the mistaken assumption that he knows more about it than the person he's talking to it does. That's interesting.
Where's this definition from?
This
Webster?
is Merriam-Webster. Although mansplain is most likely coinage of the live journal user, no discussion of mansplain is complete without the mention of Rebecca's sonnet, blah, blah, blah. Oh, so this is just giving like a whole background on like the definition.
Oh my God. Okay, now what's up with the womansplaining?
Well, there is an interesting thing right here. It says, where was it?
I don't know.
Where did it go?
Is it the other tab?
No, it's this tab.
No. Urban Dictionary, womansplaining.
It's all good. Let's go to this one. The Content Authority.
The Content Authority.
This actually is going to give us the mansplain versus womansplaining, meaning and differences.
Dun, dun, dun.
Have you ever been in a conversation where a man explains something to you that you already know, or maybe you've been in a situation where a woman talks down to you as if you're ignorant? These are examples of mansplaining and womansplaining, two terms that have gained popularity in recent years.
Oh, my God.
While both terms are used to describe a similar behavior, there are some differences between them. Mansplaining is when a man explains something to a woman in a condescending or patronizing way, assuming that she doesn't have the knowledge or understanding to comprehend the topic. On the other hand, womansplaining is when a woman explains something to a man in a similar manner, assuming that he is ignorant or incapable of understanding the topic.
It's the same thing.
It's important to note that both terms are not meant to be used in a derogatory way towards either gender. Is it? Because I'm pretty sure that mansplaining
I'm sure we could pull
is
up some
derogatory as hell.
Right?
I've never heard it used in a non-derogatory way.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure we could go on like YouTube or TikTok or something and find all kinds of videos of this shit.
Yeah. Rather, they are used to point out the behavior and bring awareness to it. In this article, we explore the origins of these terms, the impact they have on society, and how we can work towards eliminating this behavior. So I'm going to go back up here real quick where it says, mansplaining is when a man explains something to a woman in a condescending or patronizing way, assuming that she doesn't have the knowledge or understanding to comprehend that topic. Now, the reason I bring that up is...
Yeah, this is all you, buddy.
Because men, when we have a conversation with each other, we like... If we have a staked interest in the relationship in any way, shape, or form, whether that be to a woman, to a child, or to another man, we like to explain the problem, and we like to explain the solution.
Or what we think is a solution.
Exactly. So when you and I are having a conversation and I'm mansplaining to you, if you have the information, you basically give me an indication to skip ahead, right?
Yeah.
Right? So I take that indication and I go ahead and say, okay, he's got an understanding of this. I can go to the next topic.
And it's just natural, too. It's not like, you know what I mean?
So when men have these conversations together, we send the message that, hey, skip ahead. So we skip ahead because we understand that they understand. so we don't have to go in detail. Where mansplaining comes from, I think, is this, that women have a hard time giving the cue that they understand it. Rather, they will sit there and listen to it because they think that we're just trying to inform them of something, but they don't understand that if they know it, we can skip ahead.
Yeah.
So now they look at us with that we're being contemptual to
We're
them,
being
right?
assholes.
Or we're talking down to them, and that's not the case. We are making sure that we are projecting our caring about that relationship, whatever form that relationship is, that we've taken. Men's time is valuable. If we don't have to say it, we will not say it. If we're saying it and you tell us to skip ahead, we appreciate that. But if you don't tell us to skip ahead, we think that we need to invest the time to make sure that you understand it.
Give me the crayon.
Right? So if you understand it, you need to give the signal that you understand it to skip ahead. So women look at it as we are demeaning them, and men are look at it as like, I'm imparting a lot of wisdom because I care about you. Right?
Well said, my friend. Well said.
That I think that's where the issue is men and women communicate differently.
Well, any person with a little bit of knowledge of relationships can understand that, men and women are different and they understand things differently, and they just take things differently. We're wired differently, for Christ's sakes. You know what I mean? Like, if we were wired the same way women were, nothing would ever get done.
So I like how they're trying to say that it's not derogatory, but in mansplaining is I was using a derogatory sense. He's mansplaining it to me. He's trying to. They're trying to belittle the man for taking the time and investing the energy to make sure that you have an understanding of the topic. Mm-hmm. We would appreciate it if you understand the topic to not have to relay all the pertinent information.
Yeah, because I don't have to waste my breath.
If you understand that 2 + 2 = 4, and 2 × 2 = 4, and 2 squared is 4.
Yeah.
If you understand all that, great. I don't have to waste the time to do all that.
Show them a schematic.
But if you don't understand that, and I care about you, I'm going to take the time to make sure you do it. So if you don't tell me you understand it, I have to make the assumption that you don't understand it, and I feel that this information is valuable to you, that I'm going to sacrifice my desire to not have to speak as much to make sure that you are taken care of. That is where I don't know how else to frame it. Like
it makes sense.
The breakdown is not that we're trying to patronize. The breakdown is not that we're trying to condescend.
Yeah, and if you're taking a hit on that, like, maybe it's you, not us.
Yep.
Take a look at yourself and let the Lord save you.
So, and then they go on to what womansplaining was, right? So, womansplaining is when a woman explains something to a man in a similar manner, assuming that he's ignorant or incapable of understanding. Now, unfortunately, I can't reason my way out of that one. There is, you've been married, I've been married.
Yeah.
We've both gone through conversations where no matter whether or not we understand it or whatnot, we are always talked to that we're incapable of understanding.
Oh, God, I hate that shit.
So,
don't talk down to me.
I can't reason it out because the only mansplaining I can reason out. Womansplaining, I'm having a hard time coming up with a reason as to why womansplaining is a thing. The funny thing is I've never heard of womansplaining until men started saying, if you're going to mansplain, if you're going to start using mansplaining, we're going to start using womansplaining.
No, it's a real thing too.
Because men could get, maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but men don't care if you talk down to them. We get talked down to every day of our lives.
I kind of care if it's somebody that I'm in a relationship with.
Well, it's a sign of respect, right? If you're talking down to me, you're disrespecting.
Exactly.
Right. So if my girl is talking down to me like that, then we have an issue.
Exactly.
But
and I don't do well.
If I have a girl that's worthy and that respects me and doesn't talk down to me, there's no reason for me to even use this.
Yeah, you shouldn't be using those terminologies in a relationship. You might as well just be calling me an idiot or an asshole or a dummy or.
But I think that any person or any woman that says, like, I've been told, stop mansplaining it to me.
You've been told that?
Yeah, I've been
I've
told
never
that.
actually been told that personally.
I have.
Oh, man. How'd you handle that?
No, I was pissed.
Ooh.
I was like, so you don't want this information? Well, you don't need to talk down to me. I'm not talking down to you. I was just giving you the information. You don't want it? Cool. So,
Right.
So at that point, you've dropped levels in my relationship to the whatever that status of relationship is.
You just
have
went down.
dropped levels where I no longer will give you information to make your life easier because
Right.
you couldn't even reciprocate the fact. You couldn't even tell me in a way that you understood it without being condescending.
Yeah.
Right. So if you understand the information, give me the cue that you understand the information.
So we can move along.
But you don't need to be disrespectful about it.
Yeah.
If you are, cool. I'm never going to give you that level of care.
Yeah. And well, we've said that before in on this show about the relationships. Like just talk to us, but don't talk down to us. Like just show us respect. Like if we're providing for you, we're taking, doing our thing like we're supposed to, and everything, all the bills are paid, and you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like there's no excuse for fucking being disrespectful. And we just established with your definitions and logic right there that would be viewed as disrespectful to us. And maybe not everybody, but I think the vast majority, I would say that's a concise, right?
I would think so.
Okay.
So I will say this, that men typically are conditioned to take the abuse, right? So that's why womansplaining really is not a typical term used between men in conversations.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think I've ever said that until now.
Yeah. Womansplaining is not in our vocabulary. We don't care because there are instances where it makes sense for a woman to find us incapable.
Yeah.
Or to treat us like we're ignorant, especially during a fight. If we're having a fight, those types of disrespectful things do get a lot of... They come out, and they do tend to be kind of granular, if that makes any sense, right?
I think I get what you're saying.
They don't hold a lot of weight. It's not like we're going to carry that with us.
Oh, yeah. We're just like, whatever.
It's the heat of the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we understand
but women hold on to that shit.
They do.
They have like a little Rolodex or something, and they bring it back.
Well, have you ever seen that video where the guy's talking about like the boxes, right? Men have boxes in their brain where like
yeah.
And all men have a nothing box, right?
Yeah, I love that box.
So if we need a math box or if we need to do math, we go into our filing cabinet, and we say, "Oh, hey," or our storage shelves, right? And there's our math box. So we go up and we reach up and we grab that math box down, we set it on the table and we open it up and making sure not to touch any other boxes. We pull out all the information we need out of that box.
Or that we have.
And then when we're done, we put everything back in, we close the lid, make sure not to touch anything. We're going to go put that back on the shelf.
Where it needs to go.
And then we come back to our nothing box. Right?
I love this.
But women, on the other hand, they're like a super interstate, man. Like everything's going like this is attached to this over here, which is attached to the budget, which is attached to the kids, which is attached to the car, which is attached to their mother's floral dress or whatever.
You ever seen those crime scenes, like the people with the maps and they got all the red string everywhere? That's what I envisioned when you said that.
Right? So we're wired completely different. So men, when we're in our fighting mode, when we're in a fight about this topic, it's really hard for us. This is why women are so much better at relationships than men. Because men, we waste so much time switching from box to box to box to box, right? We're having to pause so like they're like 7 topics ahead and we're just barely pulling down the financial box and they're just like, well, we're on your mother-in-law right now. Or we're on your mother, wait, hold on, let me put the now we're talking about the kids.
Yeah, slow the fuck down. One thing at a time, damn it. That's how I am. One thing at a time, dude. Because if you got me doing 8 different things, I'm going to go in order that you gave it to me.
Yep. Yeah.
And if you're just slow down, okay, ladies?
Yeah. We need time. Some men are better and more efficient at pulling up and putting away boxes. Some men, they need a few minutes to just put away that box to make sure it's stored properly.
I'm focused on this box. I'm using your terms here. I'm focused on this box. Don't jump 3 ahead, man. Let's finish the argument or conversation about this box.
Exactly.
And then we'll move on to the next. But in time, okay?
Yeah.
You don't have to jump. Yeah, dude, I get it.
Which is another reason I think that why mansplaining has become such a popular term and used is because men, when they're in that box, they have a lot of information about certain topics in that one box, and we can stay in
Well,
it.
it's like asking a chick, all right, fine, go change the oil.
Some women can, though.
Some women can, right? But it's the same thing as I know dudes that can't even do that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I get
true.
it.
Yeah.
But like, if you were to tell your average woman, okay, or one of those high class bitches, okay, all right, go fine. You go take care of the car. I'm gonna clean the house. I guarantee you, at least you would be able to clean the house. How many times do you think that she would come over there and ask you, "Hey, how do you do that? Can you break this for me?
Yeah.
What do I do next?" Or like, don't get me wrong, I have been with some people in the past. They work on cars better than I can. But generally speaking, we assume those roles. Like, you know what I mean? Those
Okay.
those gender roles. Like, I don't know what to say right there.
Yeah.
But like, the man does the cars, the automotive, the yard work, the heavy lifting. And the only reason why I bring that up is because this last week, what was it? My wife said something, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I was just picking on her or whatever, and I was like, well, why don't you go do it? She's like, oh, no, that's what I got you for. Okay, cool. So we now know my role. So don't be bringing up other shit. Sorry, it was funny.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm listening, but I was also trying to.
Yeah, it's something that popped in my head right there because I think she asked me to check the fluids in the car or something. She's like, why would I do it when I got you? Well, okay then. So I will do this.
Yep. So what I do think interesting about like equality among the sexes or among the sexes is it's only equality insofar as the things that they want to do.
Oh yeah,
and I'm speaking for women. It's only
what they want to be included.
Women want to be included in it, right?
Yep.
Because if they were truly interested in equality amongst across the board, then they would be also saying, yeah, we need 50% representation of garbage men or garbage collectors.
Oh yeah.
Right, but they don't care about that. They want 50% of CEOs. So it's very apparent that they only care about things that actually they care about double standards when it can be helpful to them, not harmful to them.
Yeah, it's very specific.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, like women don't necessarily have the same interests in stuff, right? So infrastructure jobs, building roadways and building skyscrapers and keeping the power on, keeping the sewers running, and keeping garbage out of the refuse out of the streets, right? These are male-dominated jobs. That doesn't mean women aren't in there. It's just they're male-dominated, right? And it doesn't mean women can't do it. It's just that the interests are different between...
A man's more likely to do one of those jobs
exactly.
than a woman. I get what you're saying.
Which is another reason, like daycare. Men typically are not involved in daycare.
I would look at a dude kind of funny if he was...
Same
like,
here,
hey,
right?
bro.
like what, why do you want to be around all these kids?
Exactly.
Right? But a woman, you don't even think of another eye. You don't even think for a second. It's just like, oh yeah, that's very natural for you to want to be involved in raising kids,
children, or education, something like that.
So there are, and these aren't gender roles forced upon us by society. It's just these are hardwired biological traits.
Yeah,
right?
it's just natural.
Men like things, women like people.
Fair. I can agree with that.
That doesn't mean all women are going to be that wired, and it doesn't mean all men are going to be that wired.
Yep.
It just means that in the vast majority, there is a trend of these things. That's all it is. That doesn't mean one's better than the other.
No, absolutely not. We're not saying that one gender is better than the other. No, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Like I said, there's shit that my wife can do that I can't. She's got way more patience than I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, she cooks better than me. She's more compassionate towards the kids and the animals and stuff, like.
Yeah.
Just and that's just natural. I get exactly what you're trying to say.
So, womansplaining. Let's go back on here.
Let's get back on top.
So, everyone knows what mansplaining is. It's kind of colloquial at this point.
What did you just say?
Colloquial.
What?
Used in everyday conversation.
Okay, thank you. Break it down. Break it down for me. I'm colloquial. I just thought you were trying to call me something.
No.
I'm about to say, motherfucker. Just kidding.
So, womansplaining though, it's not a word that's used in everyday conversation. It's not a word really used by anybody, as far as I know.
No.
So, right here it says define womansplaining. Womansplaining is a term that has emerged in response to the concept of mansplaining. So basically, it only emerged because
they created that other one.
They created the mansplaining. So
which makes sense.
It does make sense. If you're going to have a yin, you have to have a yang, right?
But sorry, I'm gonna play. So okay, mansplaining, womansplaining. Does that apply to the third category?
What's the third category?
The transgender community.
Oh no, because I don't think it would, because
I'm just asking a question.
If you're a man that trans into a woman and you're doing this, then you would be technically womansplaining?
See? We're a paradox.
I don't know.
I'm confused. I'm just asking a question.
Well, because they're identifying as a woman. So if you're identifying as a woman, that would be womansplaining. But the behavior is, but because you're biologically a man, you'd be. Fuck me, dude. I don't know.
I got you. Transplaining.
There we go.
We need a third one. I bet you it's out there.
I don't know. I don't know, because
that's a good one, right?
Yeah. We live in a weird time.
Yeah, dude. You let us know. I'm just that seriously popped into my head as we were talking about. I was like, huh.
I don't know. I don't know.
It makes you stroke your beard a little. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm stuck on that one. I'm stuck on that now.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm going to get a call in the middle of the night. I got it.
Okay, so it refers to the act of a woman explaining something to a man in a condescending or patronizing manner. Interesting. So a woman talking down to a man is patronizing, but a man talking down to a woman is also patronizing. So all of it's just patronizing.
It's the same shit.
Interesting. Often assuming that the man has little knowledge or understanding of the subject matter. While mansplaining is rooted in patriarchal attitudes and beliefs about gender, womansplaining is often seen as a response to these attitudes as an attempt to reclaim power and authority in conversation and discussions. However, like mansplaining, womansplaining can be harmful and counterproductive as perpetual gender stereotypes and undermine the credibility of the person doing the explaining.
So then.
Interesting. It is important to note that the term womansplaining is not widely used or recognized as mansplaining. Yeah, we just covered that. And some critics argue that it's not a valid concept. However, others argue it is a useful term for describing certain types of behavior and power dynamics in conversations and interactions between men and women. I personally don't like either of the terms. And the reasoning why is it actually roots back to what I was saying earlier.
I think they're a little sexist, to be honest with you.
Well, it is. It is very sexist, actually, because it boils down to the type of communication that is utilized between the sexes, right? Mm-hmm. Men are more of a direct communicator, and we're looking for input cues to make sure that the conversation can be moved on. Whereas women typically are more... Well, it goes the same with like negotiating pay and stuff like that. Women are more agreeable. So if they're more agreeable, they're less likely to say something. They are more likely to stay in a conversation and not input that they already have understanding of the material that's being covered. Mm-hmm. But I also noticed that women also, because of the rise of feminism, have the audacity to think that they are superior to men, and that they tend to talk down to men regardless that the man understands it or not. Because men are doing it because we're trying to impart wisdom, and we're wanting to make sure that the person that we're talking to is capable. And if we're looking for the cues to move on, because we care, it's coming from a place of caring. Where women, when they talk down to men, it's typically they're typically talking to men out of despite or hate.
Oh, I bet you there's some dude out there that's communicating. He's just being an asshole too.
Well, yeah, I mean, when I speak, I kind of speak in general.
I know.
Obviously, there's outliers. Like there are men who are just absolutely atrocious when it comes to dealing with women. Mm-hmm. They think they're better. Right. What I'm saying is the rise of mansplaining as a terminology also has led to the rise of women degrading men a lot more than before.
Definitely, man.
So I don't really care for either of the words. I think mansplaining.
I think it's retarded.
It is a terrible term.
It is horrible.
Because basically, all women are doing is saying like,
it's just explaining things.
If you were trying to talk to me and I'm not giving you the cues to move on, and I'm going to view this as you're degrading me, when men are not even. That's the part that I'm having the biggest problem with. Is most men are not doing this to try degrading women. Most men are doing this because they care about women.
Yeah, I get what you're
Right.
saying.
And I think the reverse is true when it comes to women degrading men. I think they're degrading men because they think that it goes back to right here, reclaim power and authority in conversations.
So you agree with the terminologies?
I think the terminologies are correct. I think the concept of mansplaining is false. I think
skewed.
I think it's false for the majority of people, right?
Yeah.
I think the womansplaining is not even really a thing. It is a thing, but I don't think the term is accurate,
I get what you're saying.
right? Because to me, it's just disrespectful.
Yeah, that's how I take it.
Like you're talking to me
Like,
disrespectful.
I'm a grown ass man. Can you please just tell me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Like I'm not going to use the term womansplaining.
No, I don't think I've ever said it until now.
I don't have the audacity to say that to a woman. Like that to
You're
me,
a woman splaining.
yeah.
What?
To me that's just rude. Like
Well,
I don't have the audacity. But it is interesting because I don't think most men would, because most men understand that women
think differently.
think differently than us.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you're trying to put it in a way and I'm feeling put down a little bit, that's because I'm not understanding what you're trying to convey.
Right.
Right. So it is accurate. You are womansplaining to me. I'm not understanding what you're trying to convey. It behooves me to reframe the communication so I can understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
But I don't take it unless you're outright being disrespectful. I don't take it as you're being disrespectful or degrading.
Fair.
Whereas women, they take it any slight against them as mansplaining and degrading.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a huge difference, and I think both terms are kind of wrong.
Okay. I can respect that.
So,
Well.
yeah, that's an interesting conversation.
It is.
What do you guys think about mansplaining, womansplaining, transplaining?
What's your guys' I knew you were going to bring that up. What's your guys' experience with what we're talking about, man?
Yeah,
Or ladies? I'm interested, like, how these terminologies or these situations have affected the people that watch our show.
yeah.
I'm interested to see what if somebody does comment or leave a reply or something, what your guys' experiences are with this.
Yeah, I agree, and I do liken it back. I have been told quit mansplaining it to me, and
I've never actually been told that.
I have, few times,
That's crazy.
right? Because you and I, when we're in a conversation, I tend to go into details
Yeah.
on things, right?
Yeah.
That's just how I am. So I communicate the same way to women, and women find that so disrespectful.
Offensive?
They say quit mansplaining it to me. I'm not mansplaining it to you. I am conveying my ideas to you.
Yeah, we're
If
talking.
you understand that idea, that concept, give me the goddamn indicator to move on.
Right?
If you don't, then I think I need to continue going and giving you that
In
information.
minute detail.
Right? So I have my boxes lined up. I need to go from box A to box B to box B to box D. If I can skip, if I start talking, I start pulling stuff out of A, and I don't have to finish going through A, and you got it, boom, I can move to B. You got that, boom, I can move to
Right.
C. I'm wanting to end that conversation as soon as possible.
Makes sense to me.
So, very interesting.
Let us know.
Oh,
What?
I think this ties into toxic masculinity and stuff too.
Oh, guaranteed it does.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
So, because toxic masculinity, one of the traits is it is
Ruining this
mansplaining.
country.
Yeah. You're ruining this country. What's up? Oh, I thought I saw a hand go like that, like you were trying to get attention. No?
Oh,
Okay.
he got attention.
So,
Got nasty.
yeah, I think mansplaining and womansplaining go into toxic masculinity and toxic femininity.
Oh, yeah.
But it is what it is. I mean, anything that a man's trying to do is mansplaining. Anything a man's trying to do is toxic.
Anything we do is wrong.
Yep. No, everything a man does. You breathe and you have a penis, you're wrong. You're dumb. You're stupid. Women should be the ones in power. Women should have everything that a man has. Actually, men should be the second-class citizens. We should gouge you for all the child support we can. We should strip you away from your parental rights. We should not have you in any positions of power or authority because men just destroy everything.
Which is not true at all.
No, it's not true. The sexes complement each other. We both have strengths. We both have weaknesses. The male strengths complement the female's weaknesses. The female strengths complement the male weaknesses. That is how we work. That is how we survive.
That is how we roll.
And it's relationship dynamic has gotten away from the moral authority, and these relationships no longer are in it for the right reasons, right? It used to be you're entering into a relationship for production of children. Now it is, I'm entering into a relationship to be happy, to be fulfilled, to meet all my desires, and if I don't have any of that, then I will leave and go find the next one.
Yep.
So, and that's men and women. Men and women are both guilty of that. Our society has changed. We no longer are the same thing. And these terms, these new terms like womansplaining and mansplaining, are iterations of basically saying the same thing and just highlighting the natural differences between men and women rather than focusing on
Shouldn't even be
solutions. We need to be focusing on solutions. Like the communication between men and women are different. So rather than saying, oh, you're mansplaining, oh, you're womansplaining, why don't we focus on, hey, you guys communicate differently, but these tips and these tricks make it so you guys can communicate more efficiently. That's more important, in my opinion, than mansplaining or womansplaining.
No, that makes sense.
So, final thoughts there, Boudreaux?
I had it.
Brain fart?
Yep.
It went.
I'm tired.
What was that joke? Tell that joke.
Which one?
The pinky.
Oh, this is the joke my son told me?
Yeah, do it.
What did he say?
If you're digging with your pinky.
If you're digging with your pinky and it smells kind of stinky, diarrhea. Diarrhea. I said, what the hell's your pinky stinky for?
I'm just curious why you're digging with your pinky.
Exactly.
And something stinky. Makes no sense to me, but I guess.
13-year-olds.
God, I gotta love it.
13-year-old boys, man.
Yeah,
Girls are so much different.
They're yeah. It is what it is, man. Yes, it is. Well, I hope you enjoyed Wellspring Wednesday. Interesting topic. And you should have these conversations with your kids, I think. It's
not the pinky one.
No, not the pinky one. But have the conversations about the communication differences between men and women, and help facilitate the communication process between intersexes.
Definitely prepare your sons versus your daughter. I mean, you're going to prepare them for the situations that they're going to be in life later.
Yeah.
Your man, you're developing a young man. He's going to be in situations like this. You're developing a woman. You want to teach her not to put men in this kind of. I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah. You want to teach your daughter how to recognize the cue or how to give the cues that they can move on.
Yes,
right? Because that's going to help. That's going to help move that. But at the same time, we need to teach our boys to
convey that as well.
Convey
to
it
women.
as well. Like, hey, if you got this, get me to move on. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. It makes sense. But even like we were talking.
Well, we're not perfect.
No, because I have a hard time communicating with my daughter.
Yeah.
Right? Just because of the gender difference, and because of the age difference. Right.
I think I got lucky. I raised a little bit of a tomboy, so she.
Yeah. Where it's hard to do these. It's already hard enough to communicate with the opposite gender, but it's also extremely complicated when you're trying to teach your daughter.
Yes.
Right. So there's challenges to raising a daughter. I think that's one reason why men like boys. One is because it's kind of like a built-in best friend. You get the roughhouse, you get to do all these fun things, but you already know how to communicate to a man, so it's easier to communicate with a boy. But at the same time, when dads do like little girls, because
it's a softer touch of life.
It's like now I can actually do like she
show her.
Yeah. What
a real man is and like what she should be looking for in life.
So there's pros and cons to everything, right?
And facts.
So perfect. Let's end it here.
You guys have a good one.
Peace. Thank you for watching. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe. Till then, peace.